Hello, parents. If your child learns differently, navigating the school support system can sometimes feel overwhelming. You might hear terms like IEP or 504 plan and wonder exactly what they mean for your child and for you. So, my name is Gurpreet, and today we are going to demystify these crucial supports in the US school system, individualized education programs, that is IEPs, and Section 504 plans. So, we'll cover what they are, who qualifies, the process involved, and the most importantly, how you can be an effective advocate to ensure that your child gets the support that they need to thrive. So, first, let's briefly talk about learning differences. Now, this is a broad term for neurological variations that affect how an individual learns, processes information, or expresses their knowledge. Common examples include dyslexia, ADHD, dyscalculia, or challenges with executive functioning. It is so important to remember that learning differently is not about intelligence. Many students with learning differences are incredibly bright and can achieve amazing things with the right understanding and support. Let's start with the IEP, which stands for Individualized Education Program. IEPs are governed by a federal law in the US called the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Now, the core purpose of IDEA is to ensure that eligible students with disabilities receive a free, appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment, meaning, as much as possible, they are educated alongside their peers without disabilities. An IEP provides specialized instruction tailored to the student's unique needs and related services like speech therapy, occupational therapy, or counseling if required to benefit from that special education. So, to be eligible for an IEP, a child must be found to have one of the 13 specific disability categories outlined in IDEA, like a specific learning disability, autism, speech, or language impairment, and that disability must adversely affect their educational performance to the point where they need specialized instruction. So, the process to get an IEP typically involves a referral for evaluation, a comprehensive evaluation by the school team with your consent, an eligibility determination meeting, and if eligible, the development of the IEP document itself by a team that includes you, the parent. So, this plan is then implemented and reviewed at least once a year. Now, an IEP document is quite detailed. It includes your child's current levels of performance, measurable annual goals, a description of the special education and related services they'll receive, accommodations and modifications, and how they'll participate in state tests. Now let's look at 504 plans. So these come under Section 504 of Rehabilitation Act 2 of 1973, which is a federal civil rights law. Its main job is to prevent discrimination against individuals with disabilities in programs that receive federal funding and includes public schools. So the goal is to ensure students with disabilities have equal access to their education. So, eligibility for a 504 plan uses a broader definition of disability than IDEA. A student qualifies if they have physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities, and learning is considered a major life activity. So, a child might not qualify for IEP because they don't need specialized instruction, but could still be eligible for a 504 plan if they need accommodations to access their education. So, the process for a 504 plan also involves a referral and evaluation, though the evaluation might be less extensive for an IEP and can often use existing information like medical diagnosis or teacher reports. If eligible, a team including parents develops the 504 plan, and they are reviewed periodically. Now, this plan describes the nature of the disability, how it impacts the child, and lists the accommodation and modifications needed. So, this could be things like extended time on tests, preferential seating, help with note taking, assistive technology, or permission for frequent breaks. What are the main differences between an IEP and a 504 plan in a nutshell? Now, IEPs are under IDEA, that is Special Education Law. 504 plans are under Section 504 Civil Rights Law. Their primary purpose is that IEPs provide specialized instruction and related services. 504 plans provide accommodations and modifications for access. Now, if I talk about eligibility, IEPs require one of the 13 specific disability categories that affect education and a need for specialized instruction. 504s have a broader definition, any disability substantially limiting a major life activity. And if we talk of the document, so IEPs are normally they are generally more detailed with specific annual goals and service logs, and 504 plans outline accommodations and are typically less extensive. Essentially, if a student needs changes to what or how they are taught, an IEP is usually the route. If they can learn with the general curriculum but need changes to how they access it, a 504 plan might be appropriate here. So, whether your child has an IEP for specialized instruction or a 504 plan for accommodations, the ultimate goal is to help them learn and succeed. Sometimes, effectively using those accommodations or mastering the underlying academic skills that might be an IEP goal can benefit from extra individualized support that complements what the school provides. So, Wisdomy's one-on-one online tutors can work with your child to reinforce concepts taught in school, develop specific learning strategies that align with the IEP or 504 goals, and build their academic confidence. So, if you're looking for ways to help your child make the most of their school support plan and truly thrive, a free trial class with Wisdomy can be a great way to see how personalized tutoring can become a valuable part of their success team. And you'll find the link in the description below. Parents, your voice is crucial in both the IEP and 504 process. You are your child's first and most important advocate. Know your rights. Under both IDEA and Section 504, parents have specific legal rights, often called the procedural safeguards. So, schools are required to provide you with this information, so understand it. Be an active participant. You are an equal member of the team that develops and reviews your child's plan, so your input, observations, and concerns are vital. So, don't be a passive bystander. Share information about your child. You know your child best, their strengths, their struggles outside of the school, interests, how their learning difference affects their daily life. So share this with the team. Ask questions. If you don't understand any terminology and any part of the evaluation or any proposed service or accommodation, then ask for clarification until you do. Keep detailed records. Create a binder or digital file for all evaluations, school communications, meeting notes, and copies of the IEP or 504 plan. So, this documentation is invaluable. Then comes collaborate and communicate with the school team. Aim for a positive, respectful working relationship. Regular communication and not just at formal meetings is the key. And advocate effectively. This means preparing for meetings, bring your notes and questions, stay focused on your child's specific needs. If you disagree with something, state your concerns clearly and calmly and provide reasons. So it's important to know the dispute resolution options available like mediation or due process for IEPs or grievance procedures for 504s. Now, while IEPs and 504 plans are specific US legal frameworks, it's helpful to know that Canadian schools also have strong systems for supporting students with diverse learning needs. Most Canadian provinces use a form of an individual education plan, often still called an IEP, or sometimes an IPP, that is individualized program plan, or similar names. So these plans are developed under provincial education laws and policies and not the US idea. So while the names might be similar, the specific processes, eligibility criteria, and legal details, they will vary by province. So the overall goal in Canada is also very much focused on inclusion and providing students with the supports and accommodations that they need to succeed. So if you are in Canada, your first point of contact should be your child's school and your local school board or provincial ministry of education to understand their specific processes. So navigating these systems can feel like a lot. So here are some top tips for all parents supporting a child with learning differences. You need to be proactive. So if you have concerns about your child's learning or development, don't wait to reach out to the school. Document everything. So keep notes of conversations, emails, and all official documents. Focus on your child's strengths just as much as their challenges. So this builds their confidence. Then build a support network, so connect with other parents, join support groups, or seek advice from advocacy organizations. You are not alone. Remember that these plans are living documents. They can and should be reviewed and adjusted as your child's needs change. Okay? And always aim to collaborate with the school team. A positive partnership benefits everyone, especially your child. So to recap, IEPs and 504 plans in the US are powerful tools to ensure that the students with learning differences and disabilities get the support that they need to access their education and thrive. So, understanding the purpose of each plan, the eligibility criteria, the process, and crucially, your rights and role as an advocate can make a world of difference. So, it's about creating a team around your child with you as a key player. Now, navigating IEPs and 504 plans can indeed feel like a journey, but remember, these plans are there to ensure that your child has every opportunity to succeed and reach their full potential. You are their most powerful advocate, and your involvement is essential. And if, as part of that journey, you identify specific academic skills where your child could benefit from tailored one on one support to help them achieve their IEP goals or make the most of their 504 accommodations, remember that Wisdomy is here to help. So, click the link in the description to learn more about our personalized online tutoring and book your free trial class. So, parents, what has been your experience with navigating IEPs or 504 plans in the US? What's one piece of advice you would give to another parent who is just starting this process? So please share your thoughts, experiences, and any questions that you still have in the comments below. Your insights are so valuable to other families. And if this guide helped you better understand these important support systems, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more resources on supporting your child's education, and share it with other parents and families who could benefit. So, all the sources that we mentioned are given in the description for your reference. Thank you for watching, and here's to empowering every child to learn, grow, and succeed.